Hey everyone, Justin here. I have a quick tip for you today showing how you can calculate your sidechain and your delay times so you can get precise, accurate movement going on in your track. Let's check it out. Here we go. So let's take a look at the track. I've got a little track idea started here. Something simple with the drums, bass, and a synth patch that I haven't played any notes in. We're going to take a look at that in a second. And I've got a little pad atmospheric layer, so let's check it out. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at this rolling bass line that I have here and see how we can make use of the sidechain and kind of get like a pumping action going on. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's get a sidechain compressor, put it on there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and get the audio input from the kick. And this is just for the sake of the example, I'm using the kick, but usually I would use a trigger, some kind of short hit or something to duck the kick. But let's go ahead and hear what that sounds like. So cool. We can hear that it's ducking the bass sound and we're hearing the result that we want. But what we're going to do is we're going to try to make sure that this is exactly in time. So what's a good way to do that? Well, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to open a calculator, my computer. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to take 60,000 divided by the tempo of the song, which is 145. And that's going to give us this number here. And then we're going to divide that by 2 and that by 2 again. And I believe that what we're seeing, the first number is a beat, one whole note, and then we are dividing by 2, so we get a half, and then we divide by 2 again and we get a quarter. So we could plug this in and we would have a quarter note, I believe, and then if we divide by 2 one more time, we should be looking at an eighth note. And so essentially it's the same. You just take whatever division you need and then you plug that in. So let's plug in that number. We got 51.7 and 51.7 milliseconds on our release. And let's hear what it sounds like. Yeah, cool. So just to further illustrate this point here, I'm going to take this audio channel and we're going to resample the bass line and take a look at what's going on. All right, and now that we've got that, I just want to take a moment here to illustrate this for you guys. I'm just going to move it up here into the drum group for a moment so you can see with the kick. We have our kick happening, and we can see that it's completely ducked the signal, and then the signal is gradually coming back up to full. Now, there's lots of ways to achieve this sound, but in this case, you can see that it's almost completely silent until after the kick has happened, and then it starts to ramp up again. This is probably because the kick is supplying more audio signal on the front end, so it's actually it's not releasing and coming up to full by the time the kick is done. But the concept is the same. We have the kick happens and then it's ducked and then it comes back up. The sidechain completes its movement and then it happens again on the next kick. So I'm gonna leave that where it is. Now you can see that how this has worked once we've printed it to audio. And we're gonna do the same thing, but let's do it with like a synth sound. So let's leave our bass in there. what can we do with this? I have an echo effect already on this track. And what we're seeing here is I have the delay mode set to time instead of sync. And it's set to 190 milliseconds. So what we can do is we can use this delay time that we have here, and we can plug it in, and we'll get the exact same thing going on here for the echo. It's going to happen 51 milliseconds. It's going to do a repeat, and so on and so forth. And the delay is going to be perfectly in time with our track. So if we want, we can slow this down to, I guess it's going to be half a beat. So essentially we're doing what we would be doing in sync mode, but I'm just showing you that this applies to everything that you can calculate in milliseconds. So you'll have the exact measurement of time, perfectly in time. So cool. So this gets us a little bit closer to what we would do when we would sync. Now we know exactly where it is, and then we can deviate from that if we want a little bit of that overlap that we would get from our feedback. So cool. So we'll leave that in. Move on to our pad sound here. And again, I'm just going to illustrate this with the sidechain. But essentially, you could do this with any effect that has a delay, any kind of delay or time-based effect where you can plug in the exact milliseconds it'll apply. Same thing, we'll come down here to the kick and add it. And what was it? We had 51, yeah, 51.72. 172. I said we can do this with a different input source, a different trigger. So let's go ahead and set that up. I'm going to go ahead and get a MIDI channel set up with our click. This is something that I've made in advance. I use on my tracks, which is really simple. I believe it's just either an audio sample or it looks like I made this one in Operator, and it's just like a white noise that triggers. And we're going to use that as our input for the sidechain and change it and see what we get when we print it to audio. I'm going to go ahead and mute the track so that it's still triggering the signal, but we can select that then on our sidechain channel. That sounds pretty good. I'm actually going to go ahead and resample this just to see what our result is. Cool, and you can see, and we'll go ahead and move this back up here so we can take a look at the audio that we ended up with. And yeah, I mean, it's ducking it just in the beginning, and then as it releases, we get the sample coming back in. And that concludes my tutorial on how to use sidechain and delay timing. Just one little thing I wanted to share with you guys before I end the tutorial. So we printed the audio here for the sidechain, and I just wanted to point out that you can actually see the measurement in time. If you look here in the bottom left corner of your screen, you're actually going to be able to see, if we just highlight this segment here, and we kind of leave our cursor over the highlighted area, you can see the duration in length. It's going to show you the beats and bars and divisions, but it's also going to show you in milliseconds or in frames. It says we have 207 frames here. And so we can even, kind of see how much this is for, like, I guess a quarter note here. So 102 or something like that. Yeah, 207, 103, 207 here, and so on and so forth. So if you're ever, not sure exactly how much time in milliseconds has transpired in the audio clip, that's how you find out in the bottom left corner, find the info you need. Hey everyone, thanks for checking out the video today. I just wanted to tell you that I have a release coming out soon. It's called Restricted. It's a bass house track that I've been working on for a little while. And I have a really cool promo video for it. The post should be going live pretty soon, so stay tuned for that. See you next time.